Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? I hope you are all doing well considering our circumstances and all this stuff going on with the politics and the COVID and all this business. So, the only advice I can give you on that part is let's try to look at the positive side of stuff. And we obviously have some time to work on ourselves, okay? Think about all the things that we can do with this extra time that we have, and especially work on clearing our environment of negative energy, clearing ourselves of darkness and negative energy, working on ourselves, building a new foundation, getting ourselves not only healthy physically, but also mentally and spiritually. It does have to be like that. It all has to be balanced out. You have to have the mind, body, and spirit in one accord in order to really build on a good and strong foundation, okay? So, as in many previous episodes, I always want to talk about that voice in the mind, okay? The one that keeps speaking to us negatively, that is obviously our worst critic, okay? I know you know the voice that I'm talking about. It's the same voice that tells you you aren't good enough. It's the same voice that tells you maybe you did something to deserve being rejected. It's the negative voice that tells you no matter how hard you try, it isn't going to work out. Yes, you know the voice and you've heard it. Now, is there any love in that voice? Is there any forgiveness in that voice? Do you feel any compassion in that voice? Does this voice have compassion for you? Okay, and how you feel or how it might be affecting your day or your life? There is a lot of backup and scientific, I guess, proof as to, the effect that abuse or childhood abuse or, what things that we go through even in our adulthood as far as abuse, mental, physical, spiritual, that shows that it has a very negative impact on our lives. Now think about that voice. Is that voice not an abusive one? Is that voice does it ever sound like it means you well? Okay? So, if this voice has for many, many years been abusing you, imagine what kind of damage this voice is doing to you. Imagine how it's affecting or how it has affected your life because of, this these verbal attacks. Basically, I know that if there were a live physical person talking to you that way, this would never be a friend. Would you ever have a friend? Would you ever keep a friend that talks to you the way you talk to yourself? I mean, think about it. But, it sounds like it seems like it's you, but in reality, is that voice you? And is this voice, knowing that you cannot hear love from that voice, you don't hear compassion from that voice, This voice has no forgiveness. Obviously, this voice is no good. Is this a voice that you should be seeking counsel from, when it is obviously not a friend, but more like an enemy? Okay, like I said, you would never keep a friend that talks to you like that. But you do have the power to change that dialogue, but let's go examine into that further. Let's go a little deeper into that. Throughout history and in all religious books, it does refer on one page or another to that voice that speaks to you, and it says that this, in the mind, is where the battle of good and evil belong. Okay, this is where, not where they belong, I'm sorry, I take that back. That's where it lives. That's where good and evil live, is in the mind. Okay, so and then there's the other voice. Okay? There's that voice that every now and then creeps in, that tells you, no, everything is going to be okay. You remember that voice, the one that we keep pushing down? The one that we think is naive? The one that we think we shouldn't listen to? That tells you everything is going to be all right, okay? Things are not as bad as they seem. And this too shall pass. How much energy are we giving to that voice? Or have we buried that voice so deeply to the point that it's almost non-existent? So which voice are you feeding? Which voice are you nourishing? What voice are you paying more attention to? Okay? What voice should you be seeking counsel from? Because let me tell you about that little voice. That's the voice that you want to hear when you are in meditation. Because that is the voice that truly sees things as they are. And knows the truth. That voice knows the truth. That voice knows that there is something that can be done about these problems. That voice knows that the other negative voice is the liar and the one that is putting you down, okay, and giving you low self-esteem, because every now and then when that voice is abusing you, that other voice pops up, which is your angel. One is the devil, one is the angel, and the angel is saying, ignore that voice. So you listen to the good, don't listen to the bad, start shutting it out and realize how much of a negative impact that it's had on your life. Okay, that's the voice that wants everybody to prove themselves to you. That is the voice of ego. Nothing good is coming out of that voice. That voice is full of pride. And its thoughts are cryptic in nature. But that is not who you really are as a person. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And you will not take your time on this earth for granted. And you will live up to, your optimal potential in this life. You will serve yourself and you will serve others. And you will do your personal best. Because your life is a gift. And it is not to be wasted. So please repeat after me this self-mantra that we have today. Let us now begin. Repeat after me. I am a creator. Everything around me began as a thought. My clothes, my home, and even the roads I drive on were once just thoughts. When I take the time to contemplate my surroundings, I grasp all of the thoughts that took place to create the world that I am living in. Likewise, my thoughts have created things. My thoughts create my actions and thereby create my life as I know it. Therefore, I strive to think about my desires optimistically. I am the creator. Ladies and gentlemen, please practice this self-mantra twice a week. And remember what I've told you and how I advised you to deal with this negative self-talk that so many of us have. You have the power to change it. You are not your thoughts, okay? You have the ability to take out those negative thoughts, and you have the ability to put positive ones in. So remember, you can do that, ladies and gentlemen. And I just want to thank you for visiting my podcast and subscribing to my podcast. I do appreciate all of your wonderful Google reviews, and I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you again, and if you feel you want to reach out to me and have a private reading done, please contact me at 201-953-0658, or go ahead and visit my website, psychicreadingexpert.com, where you will be able to see the prices and services. Thank you so much.